Pentecost is an island in the nation of Vanuatu. So Vanuatu is in the Southwest Pacific, about 1,000 miles east of Australia, and Pentecost is one of the islands there. Hope Clinic Pentecost is in the village of Palmville. The trip up to the clinic is a four-wheel drive Toyota Land Cruiser that has a very experienced driver. And you're going to do the whole switchback up the side of the mountain over roads that are rutted out. You can't believe it. You get to the top, and then you'll leave the pickup and walk the last 5 minutes or so up to that ridge top where Hope Clinic Pentecost is sitting. So if you step out the doors of Hope Clinic Pentecost, 50% of the time you're going to just step into the fog. Palmville sits in a pass right at the top of the mountains. And as that wind blows that warm, moist sea air up, it turns into clouds right there. If you're fortunate enough to be there on the day where it blows through crisp and clear, then you're going to have this panoramic view of the ridge tops of Pentecost, the bright blue water between Pentecost and Ambrum. And Ambrum sitting there is a massive shield volcano with steam rising from the vents at the top. It's incredible. Our objective in being in Vanuatu is for people who don't have access to the gospel. Those tribes and languages where today there's no church, for there to be a church established. And if you go to Pentecost, the Sa, in particular, there's a group there known as the Northern Sa. They are pre-Christian. Our objective is that they would know Christ. And so in order to introduce Christ to them, we've got to have a relationship with them. And Hope Clinic Pentecost gives us permission to be among them, to interact with them, to build a relationship with them so that we can introduce Christ to them. Ultimately, I want to see the church established. We really need a team that will go over in the fall of this year, probably September, October, that would just do the finish work on this clinic. Put the flooring down, do the final painting, just get it finished and ready to go. And ultimately, I need someone who is a nurse practitioner, physician's assistant, maybe even a registered nurse that we could train and raise up. They would say, this is what I want to do with my life. I want to go invest 2 years, 5 years, ministering to the physical needs of the Sa people in the hopes of establishing the church there. You know, the clinic for us it's like the first step of engagement. Ultimately, our objective is the church. We would also like to start Christian schools. We would like the kids growing up in the Sa language to have the opportunity to learn how to read and write and to learn about Christ. So for nurses and teachers that are interested in this sort of thing, like if you'd say, I want to make a difference in this tribe, I would say, first of all, why don't you get your feet wet? Why don't you come and spend 1 to 6 months in Vanuatu following around a nurse who's working there or interacting with one of our existing schools so that you can see what it looks like. And then the person who's willing to make a little more commitment, I would ask you to give me 1 to 2 years. And in that 1 to 2 year period, you would be allowed to make it your ministry. Instead of it being something you watch somebody else do, it becomes yours. We call that exploring.